West Point, Atlanta, Snellville, and now I'm back in Atlanta. Correction. Valdosta, Georgia. I went to magistrate court with a white friend of mine, judge, who filed papers on Ron Corbett here in Valdosta for a fight that took place at the boardwalk. And so I'm back here now. I talked to Reverend Rose. I haven't seen him since I returned back to the city of Valdosta. But I did hear there's a little bit more talk being talked about Forrest Street, the renaming of Forrest Street after President Barack Hussein Obama. This evening, I feel like I'll return to Valdosta with a message about a black man here in Valdosta that was, I don't know whether he was used or just didn't know any better or he just didn't understand. And he's a friend of mine. I have great respect for him. He is a member of Antioch Baptist Church, a young man. I knew his father. And as you know, a lot of people do not want Forrest Street named after President Barack Obama. And I'm going to point out to you this individual. The Valdosta Daily Times used him in their article. They used the whole front page. I mean, a whole page on him. Yeah, front page. Of lifestyles. You know, and they say that Mr. They say Mr. Albert Forrest is the black man that they named Forrest Street after back in the 1800s, I guess. And anybody in their right mind would know better than that. You couldn't even get a toilet, outside toilet, named after a black man back in the 1800s. Mark George appeared before City Council a couple of weeks ago, and he laid it all out for a person of average intelligence. And I just happened to be there. Of course, I said a few words myself. You can find that on Boston G.B.R. But I like history. I like truth. I like to document. And Mayor Gale and 4 black councilmen that sit on the Valdosta City Council, I respect them. I have great honor for all of them. But I've been on them about putting up a Georgia state flag over City Hall. And if you go by and you look at City Hall, you still will not see a Georgia state flag to honor our veterans and active duty and disabled veterans and the mothers who their sons and daughters may have perished on the battlefield. It is a sad day that our representatives here will not put the Georgia flag up. The Lowndes County Museum does not have a state flag. The courthouse, the Southern Judicial Circuit here in South Georgia does not fly a Georgia flag. And every time I see it, it hurts me as a retired military veteran. And I wonder why the base commander at Moody Air Force Base, the wing commanders and the Joint Chiefs of Staffs, the Executive Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump, will not call the elected officials in Valdosta and say to them, honor our veterans because they put their lives on the line and leave their wives and mothers to be willing to fight and die for this country. But they will not fly the flag that the legislators approved here in the state of Georgia. We got black councilmen. Yeah, I don't address them too. They just sit, say, and do nothing. And if they have done something, they ought to do an article in the paper say, we love our veterans and therefore we have ordered the flags and that we're going to put them up. I brought this up before council at least 3 times. The Valdosta Daily Times didn't publish that because apparently they don't care about the veterans or disabled active duty personnel either. And we home the Moody Air Force Base. The truth must be told today. If Donald Trump and others can lie all over the place, then the children of God ought to have a voice to speak truth to power for our sons and our daughters. And if we don't love our children, then let's just stop lying to people on Sunday morning at Bible Sunday school and bear meeting on Wednesday night. Let's just stop lying to the people. For how can you love Jesus? How can you love God when you dishonor your own children and are not willing to fight for them? The volume of sacred law says that if a man failed to provide for his own house, then he is worse than an infidel. That lets you know right there the people that say they love Jesus but will not take on the issues and will not tell the truth do not love the God of my creation. You love another God but not the real God that wrote the scriptures and meant every word that he said. Back on point, if I may. This brother here is a young man, younger than I am, I think. I just hate that he allowed people to use him like that. Yeah, and by the way, I don't want nobody to think that I'm down on this beautiful brother because I love him. He's a great individual. I knew his daddy. He used to be the pastor of Antioch Church. I have nothing against him. But I got something against him when he don't know the truth. And I know he's not free, because when you get truth, freedom comes. Now, he may know about Forrest Street, but does he know about the renaming of Barber Park and how 15 of us citizens here in Valdosta were arrested and taken to the Lowndes County Jail and stayed for 24 hours? Does he know anything about that? Where was he when we was fighting for that? And the Valdosta Daily Times lied on us. Lied on the meetings and the people that was at that meeting and spoke like retired educator Jesse Clark and Pastor Dobson and all those people. And the beef of what they said at the meetings were disposed of and ignored by the local news media here in this town. What you know about that, Brother Jenkins? What do you know about that? Do you know that we were arrested? Do you know that this white man, Al Parson, do you know what he did to try to work with the black community? He's dead now. Gave his life working for black folk when black folk would not even work for themselves. And now we got people who just want to stay on Reverend Rose. Yes, Reverend Rose got faults. I got faults too. And I don't mean to give you a heart attack, but you got some problems too. This white man helped us, published our articles when no black man would do it. Not the way he did it. And not only about Barber Park, other issues in the black community, the Willie James Williams death, the Lake Park Post was there. What do you know about that, my beautiful brother Jenkins? You know, we got to start telling the truth now so we can help bring black folk out of this cave, the cave of ignorance and the cave of fear. This is the last Lake Park Post, or Valdosta Post, that our beautiful brother Al Parson published before he died. And we know Jesus is not a white man. We all know that. But he put a picture of a white Jesus on the paper to represent the teachings of Jesus. And I'm going to tell you something else. I've said it before. I might as well say it here before I close out this video. Before Al Parson died, I went to visit him because he was sick down in Lake Park. That was the first I had been to his office where he published the papers, but this was the first and last time he was alive. I went to his house and met him and his wife at his place of residence. And after we finished talking, he's a white man. He was a dear friend of mine. Many of you all don't know that I got a lot of white friends. I got some white friends who tell me some Negroes would never tell me. And so I thank God for you white right people. Mark George was here the other day. He didn't come and speak to me. He didn't have to come speak to me. our spirits met on the brow of the hill at Mount Moriah, if you understand what I'm talking about. True fighters, we stand together, even until death. So Al Parson gave me a book, binders, if you will, 2 of them. I got them filed away in 3 states. Georgia, Tennessee, and another. Just in case I need them at a later date. Whether I'm around or not, they can be used. The books that Al Parson gave me. I don't talk about them much because I don't have to. I'm a peaceful man. I love God so much. That's why I do what I do. Let me close this out, you guys. I want to thank the faithful people who joined me live. I'm looking at your name. I'm not going to mention your name because I don't do what I do for a name. And many of you that I know that are watching, you don't do what you do for a name. You just want change, that's all. You just want justice, that's all. You just want what is right. You just don't want the blood and the sweat of your ancestors and W.B. Du Bois and George Washington Carver and Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad and Louis Farrakhan and others. You don't, and Reverend Rose and KJ Daddy. You just don't want their work and their suffering, their pain to go down. And so you stay in the struggle. And so when somebody come in to give you the truth, you click on it and you call your friend and say, click on, because that crazy man called George Boston Rhymes is at it again, because he's under a spell, not under a spell of the Leviathan, but he's under a spell of the living God to speak truth, because he know that only the truth gonna set us free. And so Brother Rhymes is going in, he's the only preacher, along with a few more, a handful of them, and the Bible says that on this road you would only find a few of us anyway. But say Brother Rhymes is telling us by Psalm 68:31, we say princes shall come out of Egypt and Ethiopia shall soon stretch forth her hand unto God. Brother Rhymes is teaching us that the Hebrew Israelites was black. Brother Rhymes is teaching us to stand up and be men. Brother Rhymes is telling us to don't hit a woman, especially the black woman, because she's gone through too much hell. Brother Rhymes is telling us to don't just go to church and talk about Jesus, Muhammad, Allah, or the son of Amram and Yoshabel, Moses, and then you walk around hating everybody every day, can't find nothing good to say about nobody. Every word you say is negative. You allow people to put you in the paper on the front page to fight against the black people who are trying to do something for you, your children, and coming generations. And those are the ones you fight. Yeah, that's right. You fight the pastors who stand up. I have never heard a black man in Valdosta criticize none of these preachers, pastors or imams or rabbis in Valdosta, Lowndes County, who just sit, say, and do nothing. Along the lines, I'm not talking about preaching the gospel. I'm not talking about raising money. Not even to give away bicycles on Christmas Day. I'm not talking about none of that. A lot of you all collect money and give away stuff on Christmas, but it's 364 more days in the year. And what about those? What about when these people die in the jail? What, people still dying out there in the jail. I fought that so long I found out people in Valdosta just don't give a heaven about nothing but church, going to a football game, and fighting black folk who do something. Don't think I'm angry, y'all. I love you so much until I'm going to continue to give you the truth as long as I live, because you deserve that. You've been used as a tool for too long. When you go down Fry Street and you look around and you see all the paper and all the garbage along the line, you see men, black men, walking with their pants down, that ought to let you know that our government is down. They done lost hope. They don't have nothing to live for. They done lost self-pride. They done lost dignity. They don't know who they are. A lot of them don't even know that the name that they carry is not their name. It is the name of their slave masters. That's right. They don't even know it. They don't know it. They don't know that they were the builders of the pyramids in Egypt. They don't know that they were not born in slavery. They don't know that, well, I'm going to say that. I was in Cordele. I came back through a place called Cordele a few days ago, and I met a lady there. I'm going to introduce her. I'm going to introduce you all to her. And people in Cordele hate her guts. They fight her. Excuse me, they fight her. You can Google her online, but I'm not going to give it out now. I'm going to do a whole story on her and the talk I had with her, telling you, you can actually hear white folk when they was planning how to program the black man. Yeah, this is a white pattern and practice that some black people know about, others don't know about it, and the ones who know ain't saying. Many of them are lawyers, a lot of them are doctors, some of them are professors, and I mean they got it down to a T. But they feel with fear. Man, that fear run deep in the black man. He can weigh 300 pounds, all muscles, or 6-pack, or 12-pack across his stomach, muscles all in his eyeballs and his nose. When he blow his nose, muscles are coming out. He walks tall and tan. Women got big booties and big breasts and won't say boo. When it come down to even casting a vote for the candidate of their choice to make a difference, many church folk listen to this. And I promise you, I'm going to close on this note before the billy goat strikes or wrote. Do you not know that Stacey Abrams lost the election as governor? And do you know here in Valdosta and Brooks County, do you know some Christians didn't even vote? Did you hear what I say? I can go further than that. There are local pastors here in Valdosta. Didn't even vote. Didn't even cast a vote. But let me tell you something I found out from in Cordelia. I'm working on it now. That's why I'm waiting. I want these people to see. These people think they're going to continue to get food stamps and welfare. I'm going to print the list so you all can see what President Trump has taken away from you. I want you to look at that list where he cut the budget. And if you don't have time for me to wait, Google the 2019 United States budget cuts. So you all didn't vote. You say you wouldn't vote for Hillary. I didn't want to vote for Hillary either, but I ended up doing. You see, Louis Farrakhan told us years ago, say the black man either vote for Satan or the devil, and regardless of who we vote for, we still end up in hell. But if you vote, at least you had a choice. Which hell and which Satan you was going to be under. Look at y'all. Have a nice day. I want to thank everybody that tuned in live. I'm looking at your names, and I appreciate it. And if you can see the other people's names when you watch this video, think about the other people when they see me come on, they mash the button. They say, I don't want to hear a damn thing that man got to say. And guess what? I love them too, because I used to be just like them. When a person came on with truth, I turned my head the other way. That's why when I was back in the 70s, that's why I wouldn't listen to Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, and WD. That's why I wouldn't listen to them. Master Farad Muhammad. But one day I fell on my way to the bus station. And I got enough love now for Minister Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, the founder of the Mason Temple Church of God in Christ. I got love for all of them. I don't hate no religion. I don't have to fight nobody about what religion is right. I don't have to fight somebody when they allow white folks to go put them all over the front page of the Val. How many times you ever seen me all over the Valdosta Daily Times? How many times you ever seen Reverend Rose all over the front page of the Valdosta Daily Times? When have you seen KJ, the father of KJ, all over the front page of the Valdosta Daily Times? Even when they found the sleeping judge sitting in his seat during their case, and that'd been a good time to put Kenneth Johnson all over the front page and his wife to show them what they had to go through seeking justice here in this wicked Southern judicial system that won't even fly a Georgia flag over the courthouse with all these high dignitaries that go there every day to work. Y'all better wake up. I'm telling you, better wake up. Wake up, brothers and sisters. Y'all have a nice day. To get to Free Press with George Boston Rhymes, I talk like this because I love you just that much. Peace be unto you. And I want to commend all of you who find it necessary to listen live when I come on, because there are so many others they could care less. Peace be unto you. Share if you want to. You don't have to share it, you understand. Only a few will listen to the truth. But beware. Because when the Antichrist comes, everybody going to listen to them. And he going to deceive the hell out of them. And they're going to end up over there in Guyana somewhere drinking poison. But the truth that I speak, that I don't gain anything from. You don't give me nothing for gas. So the thing that I speak, I know they're good for you. You can reject it, disagree with it, but all you want. I will say to you, keep on living. And you will run into my words, man. I have young children that used to listen to my broadcast. I started a radio broadcast back in I can't think of what year it was, so long ago. And I was on there for a long time. And I have young people telling me we went into business, Ryan, because what you said, and we were young, but we remembered what you said. I meet people walking the street that are back from college. Some of them are educators, and they come back and they say, Rams, I appreciate what you did. And I know that there are people that appreciate the truth when they hear it, but those who cannot break away from the spell of the Leviathan, you can't help yourself. You don't want to hear the truth. You want to keep playing religious games that get you nowhere. But when you find the real God, and when you find the real church, and when you stand to take the real communion, not just standing drinking blood like vampires back in the days of old, but I'm talking about when you understand the real communion, and when you really break the real bread that symbolizes the real Jesus, and when you walk down and you listen to people speak and who will give you truth that will bring about the resurrection of the dead, then you will begin to stand up, and you will stand up like the bone that Ezekiel preached to in the valley of dry bones, and you'll be able and willing to go through the fire furnace like the Hebrew boys, and then they looked and saw somebody else standing there with them. You'll be willing to do what Jonah, you didn't want to go, so you went in the opposite direction. But you can't run away from God, and God understands who you are and what you are and what he assigned to you. And so you may go in the opposite direction, but you have no power to vacate and terminate what God put on you. And so as Jonah had to turn around and go back to Nineveh, you who are righteous and you who have not fallen into the spell of the Leviathan, God gonna come get you, and God gonna bring you back into the fold. People gonna laugh at you, people gonna call you stupid, people gonna call you ugly, people gonna call you crazy, but there's one thing about it: though we suffer and though we die, by the blood of the Lamb we shall overcome, if we would only listen to what God say, not what the preachers say. When the preacher's in worse shape than most of us, many people going to church ought to be teaching the pastor about